Yo. So during the past 19 months, I have been able to work with over 600 different marketing agencies, generate over $12 million in revenue with them, book tens of thousands of meetings with them, like different marketing channels, and also work on marketing and sales campaigns and projects for 8 and 9 figure companies. So pretty much what I'm trying to just say here is at this point in time, I feel really confident in saying that I know what it takes to scale an agency and generate revenue. And through working with all of these hundreds of agencies and big companies, small companies, I have been able to identify and pinpoint one main thing that either makes it or breaks it when you're trying to scale an agency, no matter what stage you are in. If you had just started out a month ago and you were doing 1K a month in revenue, or maybe you started 3 years ago and you're doing 300K, no matter what stage you are in, or no matter what offer you run, AI automation, B2B lead generation, social media marketing, whatever, this is going to apply to you. And the reason why this one thing is such a key major thing in growing an agency is it actually has something to do, or a lot to do with something that has been deeply rooted into our subconscious minds tens of thousands of years ago in the evolutions of humans. So if we really just logically think about it, what was the number one thing that we couldn't do tens of thousands of years ago? Really simple. Take risks. And the reason why we couldn't take risks back then was because if you took a dumb risk, you would get eaten by a mountain lion or a tiger. You would die. Nowadays, taking risks is a bit easier. Nowadays, if you take a risk and it doesn't turn out how you want it to, maybe you have to skip that vacation that you were planning to take, or maybe you can't buy that nice car, or maybe you have to eat on a budget, maybe you just eat rice and chicken for a few months, whatever it might be. So nowadays, when you take a risk, it doesn't have that big of a negative outcome or negative consequence, but there still is some. But the main thing you have to understand, this is deeply rooted into our behavior patterns and cognitive bias and all these things from the fucking birth of humans, from the evolutions of humans. So you as an agency owner, why does this matter to you? Why is this dude yapping about human behavior? The reason is simple. When you are selling and marketing your service as an agency owner, you have to take this fact into consideration. This is going to affect all of your prospects. These prospects do not want to take unnecessary risks. First of all, because it's deeply rooted into their subconscious mind and they're literally programmed and wired that way, we all are. And second thing is because unnecessary risks just are dumb. Like, there's no point in taking an unnecessary risk. If you don't have to take the risk, don't fucking take it. Like, smart business owners know that. So how can we fight against this? How can we actually play into this, and how can we show the people that, hey, you are not taking a risk when you work with our agency? What you need to do is you need to transfer emotion, and specifically not just any emotion, you need to transfer certainty. That's pretty much what all sales and marketing is boiled down to the first principle: transfer emotion and transfer certainty. And how can you as an agency owner transfer certainty and show proof and show that you are actually someone who they should work with? A few different ways. First, you have the really basic testimonial video that everyone does. You just ask your client, hey John, can you take your iPhone and flip it to this side and just talk 30 seconds about how great we are? Doesn't really work, or like it does, yeah, but it's not really useful. You can also do like screenshots of results you've achieved. You can do case study breakdowns, or you can have logos on your website, whatever. But there is one superior way to show proof of your agency's work and credibility. And this is case study interviews. And the reason why case study interviews are such a superior way to play into this human behavioral instinct or factor is because, first of all, when you do a case study interview, so pretty much what a case study interview is, if you don't know, you get results for a client, you sit down with them and you do an interview with them. It can either be on Zoom, Google Meet, or it can be even in person if you're a Giga Chat. So what you do is you just go have a conversation, natural, transparent, authentic conversation with your client. And you ask them things like, okay, what problem are you struggling with before you started working with us? Were you able to solve that problem? Okay, what results did you get? How did that affect your business? How did that affect your personal life? Would you recommend working with us? Blah, 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 all of these things. And you have a natural conversation about this. So it's really hard to fake, it's really hard to script. It just shows that, okay, there's a real person behind the screen or behind the company, and they actually got real results and everything's great. It nurtures your prospect really well, and it's really authentic, really hard to fake. Second reason why this works so well is because if you look at all of the content that is doing really well right now online and on YouTube and all of these platforms, it's podcasts. People love watching two or more people just talk and have a natural conversation. It's really good content. That's what really everyone is gravitating towards. Authentic, natural conversations. Especially if you have an incentive to listen to this conversation. Because if you are thinking about buying someone's service, like you're thinking about working with an agency and they have a case study interview, you're extremely incentivized to listen to this conversation. Boom. So you need to be doing case study interviews. That is the key to success, because it gives you access to this huge case study scaling loop. And I know if you have just started out a month ago and you don't have a case studies, this might feel demotivating. You're like, oh, I don't have any client results, life is so hard, why always me? You can fall in this victim mindset, or you can think, once again, like a fucking Chad business owner and understand, okay, right now my main focus is just gonna be getting a case study. Because what happens, how pretty much all agencies grow, or at least how I've seen all the fast growing agencies grow, is first you start the agency, boom, you have nothing, you just have the agency. Then you go get your first client, you get the client results, and then you do a case study interview. You do a case study interview, you do a breakdown of how you get results, etc. And boom, now you have a way to show credibility, transfer certainty to your prospects, and show that you can actually get results. Then your prospects start seeing this case study. You slap it on your landing page, you put it on your BSL, you put it in your sales deck, you put it on LinkedIn, whatever, and prospects start seeing this case study. They start seeing that you actually can get results and there is no huge risk in working with you. Yeah? So what this does, it first of all, it lets you generate leads for cheaper. So your cold email campaigns are gonna start working better, your content, everything, ads are gonna start working better because there's more credibility. Leads are cheaper, you are getting more leads. But also, you will have a higher closing rate because people are gonna be less they're gonna think that there's less risk, or they're gonna know that there's less risk, or you're gonna be closing at a higher rate, and you're gonna be also able to charge higher prices. So your marketing costs go down, your closing rate goes up, so your profit just fucking increases because you're also charging more. So what you do is you start the agency, you get your first client, you get your case study, you start charging more and getting more leads, you get more clients, you get more case studies, and this loop just keeps spinning. You use those case studies to get more clients, and you use those clients to get more case studies, and just a never-ending loop of just scaling. And then you can start charging a lot of money. Like that's how we are able to charge tens of thousands of dollars for someone to work with our stuff and our agency, because our stuff just works really well, and we have the proof to show for it. We have crazy case studies to show for it. How is someone gonna argue with us? I'm not sure if your service is worth $30,000. Boom! Here's a case that we made $4 million for this company in fucking 6 months. What are they gonna say? So pretty much what we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna be going live to a case study recording, or the studio where we're gonna be doing a case study interview. It's not for our agency, it's for our mastermind. So if you don't know, we have this mastermind group, agentvelocity.io, and there's this one crazy amazing entrepreneur inside there named Casper, and Casper scaled from zero, or Casper and their agency, they have a great team, they scaled from 0 to 50,000 a month in the last year, being inside Agent Velocity. So we're gonna be going to a studio, we're gonna be doing a live interview with him, and we're not just gonna do an interview, he's super smart, amazing dude, so we're gonna be turning it into a full-on podcast. And I'm gonna be showing you what questions I ask, what kind of things we do to make it into a really great case study, how we record it, and you're able to take all of that stuff and you can implement it into your own business. And I'm also going to be giving you email templates and question frameworks and all of these things on how we can start reaching out to your clients, book them into case studies, do the case studies of these things. So I'm going to be showing you how we do it, and then I'm going to be showing you how you can do it yourself as well. The only thing that we have to just take into consideration is that interview is scheduled to be in Tallinn, because that's where I live and that's where the studio is. And I'm right now in Finland, so we need to fucking get to Tallinn. So let's go to Tallinn. Everybody. Yo. Boom. Yeah, bro. Like, I have a completely new level of respect for you guys. Dream about, but you forget it. You're like, this is what you're gonna do with client stuff, sales. It's really what I dreamt about. So I have, there's a that if I make X amount of money with. Boom. So we just wrapped up our interview here at this really cool studio
the studio of Andrew. And yeah, it came out really great. Always like podcasting or doing these interviews seems to be super hard, even though like our normal conversations are really natural. When you put on the mic and the camera and all these things, suddenly it becomes so much fucking harder. But yeah, just to quickly showcase what we were filming with, we had 3 different some cameras. I don't know what this camera is, but these are I think FX30. Some lights, a great setup that Andrew and the team has set up here. And then also, just as we wrapped out, Christo told us that yeah, the thing is already edited, so he edited it live, which is fucking next level. Obviously, when you're trying to film your own case study interviews and own things, whatever, you don't have to go to these lengths. The only reason why we went to this huge studio was, first of all, I have been wanting to get Kasper on for so long, so because he's a busy guy. Once I had the opportunity, wanted to get a good studio, but also we had just access to this through Andrew. He lives really close to me, so we just took the opportunity to do that. But yeah, the main thing when you're doing a case study interview or just trying to showcase the results that you have gotten to your clients, don't just make it about your service and your results just like specifically. Like for example, we filmed like an hour and it was a really natural podcast. We talked about a lot of stuff, growth pains of running an agency, mental stuff, etc. Make it an interesting piece of content, because usually a lot of these people have really, really good stuff to say. Like for example, Kasper, they're running a 65K a month lead generation agency. I know that a lot of people are interested in hearing more about that, so I just wanted to also get more of his thoughts and not just talk about our service and how we help them grow. So try to make it an interesting piece of content. Just ask questions on how don't just ask, okay, how much money have you made with our service, but things like, okay, what problems are you trying to solve? How has it impacted your life? Make it an interesting piece of content, and then just keep it natural. There's no need for any crazy fancy editing, no need for crazy studios. Hop on Zoom, put on recording, and then just upload it. And then once you've uploaded, you can publish it in multiple different places. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about that in a second. In a second, I'm gonna be overviewing like how to actually book these interviews, how to run them, all of these different things, best practices, so you can get some proof and transfer certainty to your prospect as well. But now, we gotta go first, eat. So let's do that first.
Big bad man from outer England. Baseline drop, I tell you.
Jack, where are we going right now?
We're going to the best tapas spot in the whole world, better than anywhere in Spain. The whole world, the best tapas location. Michelin star chef who has moved to Tallinn just to open a tapas spot here. So.
Badder than, bad from me bad. Where you get your mother from? Thing when me get Afghanistan. They no want see this cross like me up in my hand.
My editing job is
vibes can done. Lyrics them a fire like a bullet from a gun. Big badder man from outer England.
Damn, what a killer shoot that was. Was able to do an amazing podcast / interview with Kasper. Went over and like talked like a bunch of great stuff. And also got, of course, a great case study. So yeah, what we'll do before we wrap up the video, I'll just quickly go over, first of all, how to get these killer case studies, when to ask for them, etc. Then I'll give you like a great template on how to reach out to clients to book the case studies. I'll give you the interview structure that I personally use that has worked extremely well. And then I'll show you some examples and tell you how to distribute it and where to actually use the case studies to actually get the best possible results out of it. So just wanted to make sure that there's also a lot of like actionable steps before we move on to the next stuff. So yeah, the main thing here, if you hop onto my screen, the big misconception that I always see people doing with case studies is they have an agency, whatever it might be. Maybe they do Facebook ads, or maybe they do lead gen, or maybe they do AI automation stuff, whatever. This pretty much is the same for any single service. People always pretty much try to save their case studies. So they have a client and the client starts from state A. So every single client always starts from a particular state. They have some kind of a starting situation. And they're always looking for some kind of a transformation. That is the only reason why anyone would buy anything from you, because they're looking to transform something in their business or in their lives. A lot of people sell someone, let's say you go and you're a lead generation agency and you tell a company, hey, right now you're not booking any calls from your outbound, or maybe you're not doing outbound at all. We can start booking you calls through outbound and we can start getting you 5 to 10 calls a month. And then they go, and after a few months, they're booking them 5 to 10 calls a month. They have booked them 20 calls. They have
their client has closed few clients, made like 20, 30, 40, 50K, whatever. And that's like a killer case study. But they start thinking, it's going super well. I'm not gonna ask for the case study just yet. I'm gonna wait a few more months, make them a bit more money, and then I'll ask for a bigger case study. But that is a really, really dumb way to go about it, because when you do that, you already have the case study. Like, this is all you need to prove that your stuff works. Like, that's really what you're just looking for. It doesn't matter. Like, of course it helps. The bigger the case study and bigger the transformation is, like, the more it helps. But having an average case study is better than having nothing. And you can always redo the case study. If after 2 months you're getting better results for your clients, you can tell, hey, let's do it again. I'll give you a few calls for free. I'll give you a 20% discount, whatever. But just get the case study filmed ASAP. Just like when you get a really good client that has a lot of potential and you know that you can crush it for them, just go all in on them. Put so much focus and effort into them. Don't focus on the money. Don't focus on any of that nonsense. Like, the first case study you need to get, or that you're getting, is worth so much more than the extra few 100K or few K that you could make. So get the case study immediately, because what happens is when you get the case study here, boom, you can start like compounding like crazy, like this. If you just don't get the case study, you're gonna be always here. And then let's say you get the case study here, like you wait a few more months, and the compounding starts here, you're gonna be missing out on a lot of money because you're not getting any of these extra results, extra high closing rates, extra profit that you could be making, extra cheap lead costs. So just get the case study immediately. So how do you get a case study, or how do you book the call? So immediately when you are getting good results for a client and you have results that you can make a case study out of, pretty much you just do, you either reach out to them on Slack or on email or wherever you communicate with them, and you just tell them this. This is pretty much the template that I use. And if anyone wonders, I have learned this stuff from Nick Kosmin some time ago. So if you've ever gone through any of his stuff, you also know that this is what he does. So it works really well. So just, hey John, hope all is well. Wanted to reach out and ask if you'd be open to a quick 15-minute interview with me via Zoom or live if you have the opportunity. The purpose of this interview is to get better understanding of the challenges we are helping our customers overcome, get a better understanding of the language our customers use to describe their own challenges and situation, collect positive feedback if applicable, and we'll of course clear everything with you before publishing so you can disclose that what you like, etc. Collect feedback that we're going to use to improve our offer. And then let's say the guy is super busy or the girl is super busy or the company is super busy that you want to get the case study with, you might want to give some kind of incentive. Hey, we will give you a $100 Amazon gift card, or we will give you a 20% discount from next month, or we will give you 5 calls for free or whatever. Would you be open to this? So super simple. And of course, depending on the relationship with your client, like if you have a really natural, friendly relationship, you might not want to go with this like official message. You might want to tweak it a bit, but this is pretty much what you do. And then when you book in the interview and when you have it scheduled, you just go on Zoom, boom, you hop in the call. And before the interview starts, you just pretty much like a bit of small talk. And first you make sure that you first tell them, hey, feel free to be pretty candid in this interview. I will send you the edited version before we publish, and we can redact anything that you want, so there's no pressure. You want to mention this, because this way your client feels relaxed and they are not like holding back and being super careful with their words. And then also, before you start the interview, just quickly recap the before and after state. So you started with us when, and they're like, we started 5 months ago, okay. And your previous monthly revenue or lead flow or ROAS or whatever was this, and your current metric is this, boom, okay, let's get started. And then you just go through this. And once again, you don't have to go through these exact questions, and you don't have to go through all of them in the interview. If you have only 15 minutes and your client likes to talk a lot, like you're probably gonna only go through half of this, but that's fine. And for example, when I did the podcast with Casper, I didn't go through this because these are not like perfect podcast questions, but these are still foundational, really good things to remember. So first you just start out who they are, what they do, what was their beginning situation, so what were they doing before they started working with you, where did they get the most value, what problems were they trying to solve, what results did they get, how did it impact their business and life, what was their ROI working with you, what was the impact of working with you, where did you hear about it. Like, you're just pretty much going through these questions to make it relatable. Like, for example, let's say your client says that we heard about you on a Facebook ad. And then someone who also heard about you on Facebook ads, they might be thinking, you should never buy these things from Facebook ads. But then they see this case and they're like, this guy also bought from the Facebook ad, and he got like really good results, so it's totally fine. So you're just trying to pretty much dig out for the best information, and you don't want to like say it yourself. Like if you just say, okay, John, so we started working 3 months ago, and now you have made $100,000. How do you feel?
Like, that's not as powerful as asking them, okay, how much money have you made? Once again, we're just trying to transfer certainty, and when your client says it themselves, it once again is way more authentic and way more transparent. You just go through these questions, you can pause the video, you can take notes of these, and then really simple, no crazy editing. For example, what I do is I just use Final Cut, but you can use ScreenFlow, it's a great software, whatever. You can edit with like a million different softwares. And what I just do is I just do a bit of color grading. I just make sure that there's nothing crazy. I cut out the mess ups in the intro, etc. And I like to add a bit of background music because it makes it a bit more easier to watch. But yeah, super simple, no crazy editing, no fancy animations, none of that is needed. Just make it super simple, raw and authentic. That's what people want. And then the biggest thing, when you have filmed your case that you have edited it, etc., what are you gonna do with it? How are you gonna get the most leverage out of it? You pretty much wanna do everything with it. You wanna put it in your landing page, put it in your video sales letter, put it in your sales deck, put it on social media, put it everywhere where you can. Tweet it out, put it on YouTube. For example, I put the podcast on YouTube with Casper because it was just a really good podcast, and it has over 1,000 views. You probably, if you're on my channel, you might have seen it. It's a fantastic podcast, and like the whole point isn't just to like get credibility and just to show how good our stuff is, but just to provide good value and just pretty much have people enjoying our stuff. We don't really care if someone joins our mastermind because we already have limited spots anyway. But if someone watches through it, they see, okay, yeah, the mastermind is clearly great, but they might not be able to join, so it doesn't really matter that much. And also, just as an example, this is how you can put them on your landing page. I'm not gonna use our agent landing page because we're just remaking it. Like, this is what it's gonna look like. I'm not gonna review this right now because it's just really in early progress. But pretty much what you just do is you just put in the headline, boom, their transformation. So for example, Wyatt, he went from $500 a month to $76,000 a month in profit in 9 months. Then you put their picture, they put their name, their location, their transformation, then you put the interview here. And you do it with like all of these, and then you can stack like a bunch of these ones. Boom, 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 boom. And we are gonna put Casper's one also here below. And also, if you look at, for example, this is our new sales letter for our agency that we are making landing page on. Like, we are really focused on case studies. Like, immediately after the headline, you immediately see like a bunch of logos, you see a bunch of transformations. Once again, just remember, this is work in progress. We are just like going through the edits, etc. But you can see like immediate, like when someone sees it, they're like, boom, okay, $5 million, boom, 650K, 75 demos in 1 month, pipe drive, quota hit every single month. And then when you go like down here, you can once again see like pipe drive, boom, 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 just case study after case study after case study after case study after case study. It was making like millions of dollars and saving like crazy money for this company. So obviously, when someone sees this, they're gonna think that, okay, these guys clearly know their stuff, so we are able to charge more, we are able to close at higher rates, and we're also able to get more calls booked in for cheaper. And this is like a great example. I went to a startup event a few weeks back, and there were some crazy big companies there, crazy big VCs, etc. And we would go up to them and start talking to them. And first they would be like, what is this guy trying to sell us? But then when we would start dropping these case studies, hey, we made 4 million for these guys, we made 3 million for these guys, we made $1 million, we made 500K, we doubled their revenue, we 4x their revenue, and drop all of these names and all of these transformational results. Like, yeah, you can see all the case studies from our landing page. They're like, oh yeah, we should for sure talk. So it changes the conversation completely. So yeah, that's pretty much what I just want you to do. Go ahead, take the templates, take the interviews, everything. Look at all of our clients we have like good results with. Get a case study from them, put it on our landing page, put it everywhere, put it in our sales decks, just blast it out to the world. If you don't have good results yet with your clients, or if you don't have clients at all, make that your first #1 goal. And of course, if you're interested in working with us and joining the mastermind, you can go check out angelvelocity.io. It's linked in our description. And also we have like free course and all of that stuff. So I'll also link that stuff in the description. So if you want any help with building a B2B lead gen agency, that's gonna be there as well. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe, whatever, boom.